In this next tutorial, I will discuss the Assign Adjustments button and how we can configure certain camera settings and adjustments to be changed in real time using either the software interface or the external Warp Drive controller interface. Now that we've loaded our PCO Edge camera driver, we can then assign some adjustments by clicking on Assign Adjustment tab. When we click on this, you will see the available adjustments to the left-hand side. The most common and most important adjustment to map is the exposure time. Select the exposure and you will see the global exposure goes from 1 to 2000 milliseconds. So this is 1 to 2 seconds exposure time. Over on the available control, we want to map the fader to control the exposure, and we can assign a percentage of the total exposure in this percent mapping field. So since we're only 1 to 2 seconds, we'll leave the minimum at 0 and the maximum at 100%. That means the bottom of the fader will be 0 milliseconds and the top of the fader will be 2000 milliseconds. If we wanted to reduce this, we could simply make it 50%, and now our exposure time will go from 1 to 1000. So this is a useful tool when you have cameras that have a great range of exposures. You can narrow that range down. You can set it to a logarithmic scale to help with fine-tuning, or a linear scale. Next, what we will do is assign the frame rate to the gain encoder. The frame rate can go from 0 to 200, and what we'll do here is map the frame rate to the gain encoder, leaving it at the full 100% mapping. Once we've done this, we can say assign, and we've got fader already assigned, and now we can export our settings. We will call this PCO adjustments and save this to our hard drive. Now you can see the grabber is loaded and we've assigned the exposure time, and we've also assigned the gain to frame rate. One thing I missed, since we've assigned frame rate to this encoder, notice down here the label is gain. We can change that. We're going to call that F rate for frame rate. There we go, freight, and we'll say OK. Now we can save this to our hardware configuration, and we're ready to start an experiment.